Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton off the campaign trail today, preparing for that last debate among a flurry of leaked emails and sexual assault allegations. So how big a role will all those scandals play on Wednesday night? Here are Fair and Balanced debates. Brad Blakeman, former advisor to President George W. Bush, and Matt Bennett, Democratic strategist with Third Way. Great to see both of you today. Thanks for coming in.
Good to be here.
Matt, we talked a little bit about this in the commercial before. Like, it's such a negative campaign. People are against a lot of things. A lot of people worry we're not for a lot of things. No matter which party you're with, people want to hear more policy. It just can't seem to get past the personal. Yeah,
it's really hard. And I think one thing that will drive the next debate is the kinds of questions they get asked. Because if you remember in the last one, the very first question, not surprisingly out of the box, was about the Trump tape. I think that's unfortunately going to dominate a lot of the next debate. So it's really hard for policy to make its way out from behind all this.
But now we know we have Chris Wallace at the helm, so we trust, and he is great at navigating and being really tough on both sides of any argument or conversation. So we know he's going to do a great job. And listen, Brad, as much as people complain about the negative and all of the salacious stories and those kinds of things and the scandals, we know that negative ads work. As much as people say they don't like them, they do work.
They do, but the negativity tends to come from outside sources. Third parties tend to do negative ads. Also, campaigns do it, but they don't expect the candidate to dwell on it and be negative. And I think Chris has already announced his format, which is very substantive in issues. So I think my advice to Donald Trump is stick to the issues. We win on the issues. It's when you go beyond that and get personal that you just don't score the points you would if you just stuck to the policies that you're expounding.
Matt, how much do you think the Clinton campaign at this point is preparing for, whether Chris is going to bring it up or not, that Trump would bring up this constant drip of these WikiLeaks emails? You know, speeches that, you know, he's going to argue show that she's in bed with Wall Street, though publicly decrying them. You know, conversations about whether deals were made with the State Department, the FBI. Pay per play, cronyism, all those kinds of things. How much time do you think they're devoting to answering those issues?
A lot. I mean, I have no doubt that they're getting ready to answer those questions. One thing to keep in mind is these are stolen emails that were almost certainly stolen by the Russians with the intent of impacting our election. So she is certain to make that point. It's exactly the same as if somebody had broken into John Podesta's house, stolen his diary, and put it on the internet. And so while they'll have to make the point that this is really theft, they also probably will have to respond to some of the things that are in those emails.
But Brad, at the same time, it doesn't seem to be affecting her overall run for the White House, up by 4 points in one major poll, 11 points in another. Can Trump even have any chance of catching her at this point?
I think he can, but this last debate is really going to tell the tale. He needs to get off the salaciousness of these sex scandals and back to policy. And if he's able to do that and stick it to policy,
he wins. Do you think she's going to bring
it
up? Do you think she's going to bring that into the conversation to talk about his alleged mistreatment of these women? It's making news and it's a headline, just like she's going to have to answer for WikiLeaks and for what's in her emails,
well,
allegedly.
See, because remember Hillary's mantra this week is when they go high, when we go low, they go high. She can't afford to go low. She's got enough baggage, and she knows what Trump is likely to do because Trump's not a wallflower. So I don't think Hillary's going to do that, and if she does, I think she does at her peril.
The last debate, the viewership dropped from the first. What do you guys think the third will be like? Do you think that people are really still struggling and this will be a decision maker for them now?
No, I don't think there's a ton of people still struggling. I do think that, you know, Donald Trump is great for ratings. So a lot of people are going to watch this debate just to see what happens because they want to know what Saturday Night Live is going to do.
That's true. It's a preview of Saturday Night Live.
Exactly. But I do think it'll be heavily consumed. I don't think anyone is going to say, you know, I'm really still struggling between these two fine candidates and who do I want to go with. I do think it's people have pretty much made up their minds at this point.
And Brad, people have been voting for weeks already, and they continue to do the early voting, the absentee voting. I mean, a lot of folks have already made up their minds.
That's true, but you know, there's a lot of people who are having buyer's remorse. They want to change their vote. So I happen to think there are a lot of people still that don't like Hillary, don't like Trump. It's going to be hard for them to make a decision. I think these debates are going to matter.
Yeah, and we still see the third-party candidates showing up relatively strong, and especially in Utah, like we talked with Evan McMullin not long ago. This is truly an election like no other. Well, we're glad to share it with you. So thank you both for coming in to help us break it down.